I'm not bound to a boyfriend.
By bowing. But earlier when I'd asked you, I said, would you ever do it? You said no. But it seems like now we have kind of a change in the position here.
Well, no, you're correct. We do bow to the Lord, and if it's a godly marriage, then, of course, that's very different.
Wait, you said not bound to the boyfriend.
I'm not bound to a boyfriend, but if we are...
Should a man provide before you're married? So, like, first dates, you're down to split the first date?
No.
The man should pay on the first date?
Yes.
But you're not married.
I understand, but he is still trying to prove that he can provide in order to be married.
So you're not willing to be submissive to him until you're married?
In the bow, yes.
Well, I'm assuming there's other ways too. But you're expecting him to provide prior to marriage, but he doesn't get any benefits?
He does get the benefit. He gets the benefit of my time,
You get the exact same thing from him, though?
Yeah.
Right. You get his time, he gets your time.
Yes, but I still don't think a bow is like, oh my gosh, she bowed, I have to marry her. I don't think that's the whole, like, I don't know.
But you said you're not willing to be submissive until you're married.
No. Because if we are dating to marry. Mm-hmm. So there's already submission within that, but I don't think the bow specifically.
What would be the submission within that?
Whereas in we are already
like together building a foundation.
What does that have to do with being submissive? Just by virtue of you dating each other doesn't mean you're submissive.
Yes, it does.
What?
I mean, in this culture, because there is women who have a roster who will be dating multiple men. So like going back to those old traditions and being like, okay, we decide to be exclusive.
Well, a woman could be monogamous.
A little bit submissive.
A woman could be monogamous and still not be submissive. Although I suppose if it's her will and desire to be dating multiple men, but she
then that's not dating to marry. That's not.
That would be a terrible dynamic, though, if a man had to get submission from his woman to be monogamous. That would be terrible dynamic. But you wouldn't be submissive.
Well, what do you mean by being submissive? Just the bow specifically?
I mean, deferring to his leadership. Okay,
then, of course,
I don't want you to go to nightclubs. I don't want you to go to bars. I don't want you to drink.
Of course.
I don't want you to party.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. I don't want you to post promiscuous photos on Instagram.
Of course.
Okay.
So you're saying that's...
It's just interesting. Well, you're kind of relating it all back to the bow, but I'm still
You're so stuck on the bow. That's why I keep bringing it up, right?
Well, I mean, like, you kind of... Don't you want to be submissive in all matters and in all ways?
Yes, if we're dating to marry, yes.
Okay. So bringing it back, I guess, to the waiting until marriage thing. Mm-hmm. You said, I was confused because you said, like, your justification for the change up there was you had a bad relationship. In said bad relationship, you had premarital sex.
Right.
Ergo, are you saying that because you had premarital sex, that's the reason for the bad relationship?
No,
I'm not sure if that's the connection that makes sense.
No, it wasn't a bad relationship. We had great times, but I do think...
Didn't you? Well, what...
I meant that...
You said it was like... I got the understanding or impression that it was negative in some way.
No, well, I mean, to me it was negative because we did do it the ungodly way. We did have premarital sex, and but he's not a bad guy or a bad person, or we didn't have bad times. But
okay.
My next relationship, I would want it to be godly. I would want to wait till marriage for sex.
Were you religious? Is you being religious a new thing? Or were you also Christian prior?
No, I mean, I was like baptized as a kid and everything, but I wasn't like going to church every weekend, or I wasn't just I wasn't so in my faith as I am now.
Okay, so you've become more religious. Okay, and so just to be clear, you are the next person you're going to date. You are going to wait until marriage to have sex.
Yes.
Not just because some girls will say, well, I want to meet the guy that I want to marry, but we can have sex before marriage.
No.
But it has to be the guy that I'm pretty sure
we're
going to marry. I'm going to marry.
No, I'm waiting until marriage.
Okay.
Period.
And you're going to be steadfast in that?
Well, what do you mean?
Like you're holding to that for sure?
No, definitely, but Yeah.
Mistakes happen.
No, mistakes do not happen.
Well, can I ask you a question? So you broke up with the 3-year relationship a year ago, you said?
No. I broke up
You
with
said
him.
you were in a 3-year relationship and you've been single for 1 year.
Yeah, so I've had...
Okay, that was a different relationship.
That was a
then.
different, yeah.
Okay. So wait, that was a different relationship.
Yeah, so I had a 3-year relationship that was like throughout high school, throughout college, and then we broke up, and then I had another relationship, and that's the one that ended
A year ago. Okay. Did you have premarital sex with that guy?
I did.
Okay. So how long have you been celibate?
I would say about a couple months.
What was the nature of the relationship with the guy you were with a couple months ago?
We were dating, and but it wasn't exclusive, or no, it didn't get to that point.
You were dating for a couple months, you said?
Yes.
How did you guys meet?
How did we? I met him. Where did I meet him? I met him at a concert.
Not a dating app?
No, I don't
Okay.
do dating apps.
Okay. And so, hold on. And so, how soon after you had met him did you guys hook up?
I would say it was maybe 3 months after we met.
But you said you only dated him for a couple months.
Yeah, well, it was long distance. That one was confusing.
So had you guys been like friends or acquaintances?
Yeah, we definitely started off as friends.
Well, hold on. You said you met him at a concert.
I did.
So you weren't friends when you met at the concert?
No, I met him there, and then we became friends. We exchanged information, and...
So he approached you, or how did you guys...
Yeah, I guess so.
And he said, hi, I'd like to be friends with you?
No, well, it was more...
It wasn't clear to you that he had a romantic or sexual interest?
No, we just started off as friends.
You think that was his intention, to be friends with you?
I thought so.
Okay. So at what point did he make his romantic interest known?
I guess a while after texting, we just, I was like, oh, I like you, and he liked me, and so, yeah.
So you said after 3 months of knowing him, that's when you hooked up. How soon after there being a clear, we like each other, how soon after that did you guys hook up?
Like after we told each other we liked each other.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so we met, and then we were texting for about like 3 months, and then, I don't
When you say you were, okay, so you met at the concert.
Right.
You were texting for 3 months. In that 3-year period, did you guys ever hang out in person?
No,
No. Okay, so
it was long distance.
you live in LA. He lives where?
He lives in Arizona.
Arizona.
I hope
okay.
he's not watching this right now.
Okay, so you're texting him. You guys are texting back and forth. How often are you guys calling, texting?
It was mainly text.
Okay. You guys determined that you like each other, and then you meet up in person, correct?
Right.
Okay. How many times did you meet up in person, total?
We only hooked up once, and then after that, we just kind of remained friends.
You texted for 3 months, met in person, hooked up when you met in person,
Right.
and then basically remained friends after that.
Yeah, it
Why?
didn't work out.
Why?
Why didn't it work out? I would say it was long distance, and I felt wrong about it. I felt like, oh, it's not a godly thing. We hooked up, and it was just not the right thing to do. So
It just accidentally happened?
yeah. So,
How do you accidentally have
I mean,
sex?
she acted on temptation.
Yeah, it was very that. Yeah. So
Okay.
I was like, okay, this is not the right one. Yeah.
So, and this was a couple months ago? How recently was this?
No, this was about maybe 9 months, 8 months.
Okay. And hold on, is there any degree of cope here? Like, was it like a smash and dash, or was it a mutual, like, I'm just trying to understand this a little better.
No, it was mutual, but
it was you who said you felt uncomfortable with.
Afterwards, I did. I very much
Well,
did.
so
He smashed and she dashed.
No.
He didn't want to continue seeing you.
No, we've seen each other recently, but just as friends. And I think we both agree that it wasn't the right thing to do. We very much were just acting on temptation.
So it wasn't good. You didn't get satisfaction?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that it wasn't the right way to go about it. And it was, yeah, exactly what she said. It was temptation. It was we were drinking, and that was it.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
From the 3-year relationship to the current situationship, friendship, whatever it was, when did you decide that, like, oh no, I would rather wait till marriage? Because I mean, everyone is human. We all make mistakes. We can have this goal.
My understanding here is you had the standard of you wanted to wait until marriage prior to meeting
the concert
Arizona guy.
Mm-hmm.
It was, yeah, I definitely, I wanted to.
Well, how did you falter?
Everyone has mistakes.
Okay,
Everybody has those days.
Alcohol and temptation.
Okay,
She
look
said
at it like, let's say she meets hold on. Let's say she meets a Christian guy at her church, and she's like, I'm waiting till marriage, and then she tells him this story. You're gonna be like, really?
If they're a godly man, then they understand that
They'll give
we all
allowance and
make
forgiveness.
mistakes. We all make mistakes, and you can backtrack, and still God is going to forgive you.
But what does it mean to, like,
No,
okay,
you
I
let
believe,
Chase sit on
hold
this
on.
podcast and be a born again virgin, and now she made the decision, and
Chase got pushback.
but
he
you
got
didn't push back.
He got absolute. Hold on, I told him I was disappointed in him. I literally said that, and he got tons of pushback online for it. Trust me.
But who's to say she's seeking a super Christian man? It could just be someone who's
And also,
okay
that's
with.
it's not even my worldview. So for Chase to have slipped up, like to have premarital sex, that's not really my objection. I suppose the objection here is you're stating X, but you're not actually
Right.
right.
Also,
in any case, Chase isn't
let
here.
us point out a quick distinction here, which is that Chase felt bad. And I think that most of these women who are like, oh, well, gee, this happened and now I'm a born again, they don't seem like they feel bad about it. They don't seem like they give a shit.
I mean, she also
To be
never said
perfectly
born
honest
again
with you.
virgin. But
No, definitely. I think that's.
No, she didn't. And
I'm
also,
not gonna
Chase
lie
isn't-
and be like, oh yeah, I'm Christian and I'm a very. No, I think that's a very terrible thing to do. I'm completely honest about all of that because, and I think like how she stated, I think a godly man would understand, and vice versa. If he also had past relations, then I would understand as well because nobody's perfect.
But then what
People
does it
fall
mean?
for temptation.
But then what does it actually mean to believe in waiting until marriage if every couple months you have a slip up? What does it mean?
Well, who's to
What
say
does
I'm
it
going to have
actually mean?
another slip up?
I think the biggest thing is like, women want, I don't mean to speak for all, but like we want relationships to work, and it's so many, like I think it's kind of been ingrained as anytime you involve sex, it complicates it, or it it messes things up a little bit. And so us as women, we're always told to preserve ourselves, we're always told to wait, we're this and that. So we're like, okay, if we want a relationship to work, we need to preserve ourselves and make sure that we like whoever it is that we're dating for who they are, and not involve the sex until after that, then everything matches up.
I wish that was true, because once I got picked up and I was like, just so you know, I'm not gonna fuck, and he said, all right, well, you can go home then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Hold on.
I mean, that's terrible.
least he
I'm
was
sorry.
honest.
Wait,
I respect that.
I was like,
Nick, could you close the door?
But her as a bringing a religion, like, okay, if she like makes a mistake, do you want her to walk around town with the girl with the bell calling shame for making
No,
a
nobody's
mistake?
nobody's asking for the scarlet letter, but it has become pretty apparent to me that often what happens is women will seek Christianity and the idea of being reborn into Christianity in order to mask their promiscuous past rather than as a form of repenting from it. And this is why I think there's a delineation point and why this is being brought up by Brian. And it's a very good point. Many times women will use that as a mask and say, now I'm above criticism for, you know, my overly promiscuous past. That's what I think they're moving towards that for, rather than, okay, I'm in a state of deep repentance because I actually feel miserable about the things that I've done.
By the way, Andrew, I sent you a text message. I guess it's just, okay, this whole like waiting till marriage, Christian waiting till marriage, but has mistakes and slip-ups. Having sex is a conscious choice. So it's like a vegan who eats meat once a week. Are you still a vegan?
No.
You know what I mean? I don't know. Look, I don't know. I'm not against premarital sex. I guess I'm just confused. My bigger thing is like more so from like a secular point of view, these girls who will have had one-night stands or hooked up relatively quickly, say the last 3 boyfriends they had, they slept with them on the first, second, third date, then they're like, look, you can change up at any time however you want to move. That's your call. But I think you're allowed to feel like you're getting a raw deal as a guy if like the girl you hooked up relatively quickly without anything, and now you're a week ago, and then now you meet me, and now you want to make me wait 3 months? That's your call, but I'm gonna feel raw about it. I'm like, hold on, this isn't your actual this isn't your values.
Yeah.
It's not your values. It's just some like arbitrary thing that you're like playing a game, essentially. You're playing a game, like you're trying to leverage sex to get something out of me, whether that's commitment or whatever. And so, I don't know, it feels like a raw deal.
It's like, how much did your mindset change in 7 days to now that you're now so passionate about this?
Yeah, I mean, some girls, I mean, you'll hear stories of a girl who's currently sleeping with a dude who has a friends with benefits, and then, but she's like dating a guy who she's potentially eyeing as a boyfriend long term, and she's making him wait while fucking another dude. That's crazy to me. I mean, you can do it. You can do it. It feels like a raw deal. It's kind of like, hey, I'm trying to think of a perfect example here. It's like you go to a car dealership, and you buy a car for $20,000. You as the woman, you buy a car for $20,000, and then you find out your girlfriend got the same car, brand new car, for $10,000. You're like, hold on, that's not fair. Why'd they get a better deal than me? You know? Dealership says, I just felt like it. No reason, you know? So, I don't know.
I think there should be a waiting period between that. And so there shouldn't be like, oh, okay, I had sex 7 days ago and now I'm going to wait till marriage, but I'm going to go on a date on Friday. You shouldn't do that. You should wait. There should be a waiting period before you start to date again. Would that make you feel better? Or would you still be mad if it's been 6 months to a year?
I mean,
usually that's part of repentance.
Ulysses the Pagan donated $200. Girl in the yellow, trust me, this guy, in my opinion, was playing up that he agrees that it shouldn't have happened. The intention all along was to smash. Eventually he'll stop being your friend and ghost.
But I'm just confused, like, so you guys said you liked each other.
Yeah.
I feel like we're not, I do actually want to dig in a little bit more on this. You said you liked each other. You guys had sex. Why not continue to date? Like,
Well,
just because you had sex doesn't mean you have to no longer, that's where I'm confused.
Yeah, that was the biggest point for me. It was long distance, and
But then why'd y'all smash?
Why does it matter if it's long distance if you guys aren't doing that?
because that's
That's a
just
good
my
point, actually.
preference. I wasn't comfortable with long distance.
Me either. I was just asking.
Yeah, and then again, I saw it through after a while, and I was like, wow, that's not what I want for the relationship. That's not what I want for my marriage to be, and
You don't want your marriage to be what?
I wouldn't want to have premarital.
Wait, so
So we already had, sex before marriage. So, and it was mutual. I'm not like, but but that's just not how I would want my marriage to be. So I kind of counted that out.
What if he asked you to marry him afterwards? After what happened, if he were like, actually,
I'd consider it. He's a great guy. It's just that it was long distance, and we fell into temptation. But I don't know.
Wouldn't that be more motivation to stay together, though? Now that because it seems like you're justifying part of the reason of not wanting to continue seeing him, aside from the long distance thing. Some of the pretext there is you did have premarital sex.
Mm-hmm. So now he's ruled out as a candidate
that's
of
like
marriage.
a negative mark against him.
No, it's not negative. Not negative in any way. Like I see him as a great person, and we still get along. But it's just the fact that it's premarital that I feel bad about it, and that's just not the way I would want my marriage to go.
But you already wait.
But what if he asked you to marry him afterwards? Would you be opposed to that, since y'all already had been slept together?
I'm not sure. I'd really have to think about it.
Like, say like a guy did come to you and you really thought he was husband material, you really wanted to marry him, but you like accidentally had premarital sex with him. Like, would you just automatically be like, oh, I can't because I don't want to do that? But what if you did want to marry him? Like, would you automatically disqualify him because you had that premarital sex with him?
Even though it was a mutual agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd still think it's wrong. Yeah.
I guess it's like, I just like question like how committed you are. This like, would it be better for you to say you're just waiting for the right person, or are you actually waiting for marriage?
No, definitely waiting till marriage, because I think the right person will wait for marriage.
But
go ahead, Sammy.
Intercourse is two people. So if
Right.
you're also agreeing to premarital sex, it's because you also said yes. So if you meet Joe and you and Joe fall into temptation, even if you fell into it, right? You fell into temptation and you fell into each other, right? And you had premarital sex. Now he's not a candidate for marriage anymore.
Yeah.
Even though you also agreed to it and you thought Joe was the one, he was going to be your husband. You thought he was going to propose in 2 months, and you were like, you know what? He's the right one. This feels right. Let's do it. Now that you guys have done it, you were so passionate about marrying him, but because you had premarital sex, now he's off the table and not a candidate for marriage anymore. How fair is that to him when it was a mutual decision for you guys to have premarital sex, that now he's not a candidate anymore because you two mutually agreed on something?
No, we definitely, I see that. I don't think, I guess it isn't fair to him, but that's just me and my choice, and I wouldn't be okay with that. I'd feel like it's not the right thing to do.
So he bought the ring in March. You guys had premarital sex in April.
Oh, that's different.
But how do you know he bought the ring? You've already told, but do you get what I'm saying? You don't know when your significant other buys you the ring to get ready to propose to you.
Right.
So he buys you the ring in March. You two mutually decide to have premarital sex in April. And then at the end of April, you're like, you know what? I can't, I'm not capable of marrying you anymore. And he's like, well, I already bought the ring. I was going to propose to you next week. But now you're like, oh, well, I'm sorry. We both decided to have premarital sex, and now you're not a candidate anymore.
Oh, then that's different. If he already had the ring and we had that discussion, then that's different.
What if you didn't know?
But you didn't know he bought the ring. You guys, that's what we're saying. So it's like.
So he bought the ring. We had the premarital sex, and then I after was like, nope, he's not a candidate for me anymore. And then after we have the discussion of like, well, I bought the ring, and
but you've already broken his heart because you told him you don't want to marry him. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, he's not going to be like, oh, well, I already bought you a ring, and now you're like, oh, okay, well, never mind then, let's get married. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, you bought the ring already? That's okay. Now it's okay that we had premarital sex because now I know you had the intention to marry me.
Also, good question. You say you want to wait for marriage. Mm-hmm. What makes you be like, oh, let's just have sex with this person, even though I don't want to marry him, but yet you're waiting for marriage? Where does that like line fall in between where like I'll give this guy a pass?
Like him specifically?
No, just in general.
So you're saying like I gave this guy a pass, but after that I'm like, okay, now I'm waiting till marriage.
Yeah.
Like if you already knew you were gonna, sorry, if you already knew you were gonna wait till marriage, like why even try to pursue him?
Right? Didn't you say the reason you didn't want to continue seeing him was because of long distance?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So why did you even bother carrying on this friendship and then allowing it to proceed into a romantic relationship and then allowing sex to occur if you already had the predetermination that long distance is a deal breaker?
Wait,
like not to be rude.
It wasn't a deal breaker.
Can I sum something up?
Yeah.
So I think that whenever you guys met, there was the interest there.
Yeah.
You both knew underlyingly that you were interested. That's why you continue to talk all those months. You finally met up. You acted on the temptation. You're like, hey, this isn't really in alignment with my beliefs. I feel shame surrounding what happened. Right. And he's like, oh, yeah, okay, whatever. Men don't care like that you're religious. They don't care.
Right.
And so he essentially, are you associating shame with him, and that's why you no longer want to pursue him?
No, shame is no. I would.
Or not necessarily. Shame is a strong word, but it's just that you acted and that was not in alignment with your beliefs. So you do not want to continue going down that road with him because he also partook in something that was not in alignment with your beliefs.
Exactly.
But like, okay.
Wait, hold on. But I didn't. Hold on. I didn't even get an answer to my question. So my question is, why, knowing like the justification you provided for why you didn't actually, after having had sex, you didn't want to pursue it, is because it was long distance. You knew prior to this rendezvous that it was long distance. He lived in Arizona. You live in Los Angeles. So one, why did you even pursue it? And then two, why did you have sex with him knowing it's long distance? If you're, I mean, perhaps it's post hoc justification, but you knew he was in Arizona.
She admitted that she knew what she was doing. Did you?
Hold on. Why don't we let her explain it? Go ahead.
Well, the reason why I kept pursuing it and kept talking to him was because I really liked him. He was funny, just great person. But
he's still funny, right?
Yeah, of
still
course.
a great person.
Of course.
Okay. So then it's not because he lives in Arizona then.
That is a factor. I mean.
But then why? Okay, but hold on. What changed? Because he was always in Arizona.
Right.
You guys met up and you had sex. What are the variables? What are the factors here that led to you now being, you were friends, then it was elevated to romantic prospect, you had sex, now it's back to friends, we're not dating?
We are not dating, no, but we are good friends. Not like we're best friends and we talk every day, but we can get along and we.
Hold on, wait, you're single?
I am.
And are you talking to any guys right now? I'm a Christian man. I come into the picture, I find out you're good friends and talking to a guy who you fucked. That's crazy.
Well, we're not
That's another
talking,
topic though.
but-
That's another topic though.
Okay.
You said you talk all the time and you're friends.
I didn't say we talk all the time.
Okay, what did
I said
you
we
say?
get along, like we are, we're human. We're fine. We don't have any bad terms or anything, regardless of what happened in the past.
Okay, so you're not talking to him then. It's just amicable.
No.
Maybe I misunderstood.
No,
How
like
often
I
do you
know
talk
his
to him?
family, so we
How often do you talk to him?
The last time I talked to him was probably, I would say, a month or two. No, like about a month.
All right. I perhaps misunderstood. In any case, I'm still confused. I haven't really gotten an answer. You knew he lived in Arizona.
Yes.
Okay. Why did you pursue him if long distance was an issue?
Well, it wasn't like a great issue or anything, but go ahead.
Do you think it was an actual like fall into temptation or a lack of discipline of your decision and faith?
I would say both.
Hold on. I got a question. Hold on. I got a question for the ladies. If you meet a guy, you've been talking to him for months, you both have told each other you like each other, y'all know kind of if you're like, I'm ready to fuck this guy, right?
Well, and if you if you add alcohol
you know
to
what
the
I mean?
mix,
Yeah.
if you add
That
alcohol
one-
to the
That's really-
mix,
that's a
then
huge
you're
factor
setting
that-
yourself up to fall into
blame
temptation.
it on the alcohol.
I'm not. Wait. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I actually think that if you're going to say that this is my belief, then you have to set yourself up for success to honor that.